Hey everybody, this is Drew,
And it's Blake.
and you're listening to the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 70. If you're keeping up with everything, you know what time it is. We have a special guest joining us today. A Unknowingly the face of the podcast, I guess. He has done all the artwork that we've had up to date,
For
including
both podcasts.
exactly both podcasts. Please welcome Mladen Markovic, aka Devious.Pixel, to the podcast.
Hello, guys. It's good to be here. Great. A really weird experience for me since this is like the first podcast I ever did in my life. So, hopefully it's gonna be interesting. You know.
Uh, that's perfectly fine. We're just glad we could make this happen with the time difference and all that fun stuff. It's always weird scheduling the time. I think you're 7 hours, a 7 hour difference than us, so it's
Something like that, 6 or 7.
6 or 7. So it's the morning time for us, and you're
Yeah, we just woke up.
yeah, you're you're
Yeah, it's
you're
like
clear into the after.
really well into afternoon here.
That's very cool. Do you mind telling us where you are exactly in the world?
In Bosnia, and for
Bosnia.
older people in the U.S. who don't know it, it's former Yugoslavia,
Hmm.
and it got like splintered into several different countries. And in one of those countries is Bosnia Herzegovina, which is where I am in the Balkans. It's like near Serbia, Croatia, and those usually are more famous neighbors.
Hmm. I've
So
definitely
yeah,
heard of
in
Bosnia.
the middle of
We've
Europe.
we knew some. We've actually known people here that are from Bosnia before.
Wouldn't Eugene and his sister
I
from
think so.
Bosnia?
We had some people went to high school with here that are from Bosnia. So I guess people get around the
Cool.
world. Yeah,
Yeah,
very neat.
Yeah, the world's really small.
It seems like it
surprisingly.
sometimes. All right,
All right.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I
Usually
was just gonna, I
people are
guess,
like, "Oh yeah, I know Botswana. Yeah, we know people from Botswana. Yeah, is that where you are?" And thank God people are like, "Oh no, Bosnia. Okay, you can differentiate the two." I've had a lot of those experiences where people are like, "Where the hell is that?"
There's just so many tiny little countries all over the world, though, especially when they splinter off from each other. Like you just never know with all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I
The
guess it,
United States is kind of boring over here to at least it seems boring to us. I'm sure everything seems boring for you on your side of the world, but
oh, of course. Wherever you live your whole life, especially since nowhere is perfect, you're never gonna be fully satisfied with where you're at, and you're like, "Oh, across the pond is much better. I want to go somewhere else." But like that's the case anyway, really. Maybe
that's
not like in Sweden or Norway. I think they have it
I
like
think they're pretty
perfectly.
happy
they're
most
pretty
of the
Yeah.
time.
yeah, they're pretty happy.
Shoot, they're like shutting down prison systems because like our crime is at an all-time low. We just turned
When
these
when
prisons into hotels.
exactly when people were like, I always say this to people when they're like inventing, quote unquote, inventing the concept of a country. Norway, Sweden, and those countries up there are the only ones that actually made it. Like they are the only ones that are actual countries. They like made it. The other countries are just on their way there.
We're still practicing.
Yeah, we're
We're in the practice
still
round.
practicing.
Yeah.
Not very good at this.
No.
All right. All right. So you got a couple of
Hey,
things,
I got
Blake,
a
a couple of things to
couple of
move
questions
the
we'll kind of
conversation along for us.
dive into. I'm trying to figure out which one will be a good jumping off point. Oh, here's the first two-parter, I guess. Where did the name Devious Pixel come from?
Oh boy. Many of artist listeners of your podcast will probably relate to this, but it was like from back in the day from DeviantArt.
Ah,
Mm.
Like really early on when we just got internet and stuff. We just like I started, even though I'm like considered a millennial or even like born with Gen Z, like born in sort of like in the in between from 98, 99 to 2000s. I still had like an analog childhood. I remember perfectly when we got like the internet and everything like
Mhm.
that. And I did art as long as I can remember, like drawing little drawings. And then when the internet came around, the computers, of course, it was like a natural transition to digital art and doing stuff like in GIMP and in like MS Paint and stuff like that. And I found out about DeviantArt. DeviantArt was like Deviant Art and like pixels. I did a lot of pixel art as a kid as well. A lot of like Pokemon sprites, like splicing Pokemon sprites and stuff like
There you
that.
go.
Yeah, I was big into that. So I was like, okay, I'm making a DeviantArt account. I love pixel art. Let's go like Deviant.Pixel. I think that was like taken. So like a Devious.Pixel. That was taken, I think, with like an underscore, but then I put a dot or I forget which one it is. And I'm like, okay, Devious.Pixel, that's gonna stick. And that was like my and it was even like a lowercase x, uppercase x, Devious.Pixel, uppercase x, lowercase x.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
of
yeah,
those
everyone's
usernames.
got those.
Yeah, the old search for the username kind of trying to figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Wow.
And afterwards, I guess I don't know. I later on, after like quite a few years, I made an Instagram account for my art, and the name just stuck around, I guess.
Hmm.
And that's that. Ever since then, I've been using it like Devious.Pixel for anything.
Wow,
Hey,
that's
nothing wrong
awesome.
with that.
How did you end up, how'd you find him, Blake?
I literally went, yeah, I went on Reddit and I was literally just like art commissions.
Hmm.
And I was just scrolling through and well, because your art stood out. Because everything I
Right.
was going through was all these, it was just like anime. It
Oh, anime.
was all like,
Mm.
oh, let me turn your character into an anime, or let me. I was like, I don't want anime. That's kind of weak sauce and comments. I was just scrolling through and I found a bunch, well, not a bunch. I found a few. I got it narrowed down to about like 4 or 5, but some of them were just
You try not to insult the other
no,
artists.
no, yeah, because art is art, but it was too much almost. It was like hyper
Like,
detailed.
oh, too busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need like to know that. I don't need you to see the veins in my face. I was like, let me. That's not that one too much.
Yeah. The podcast art ain't got to be too super detailed.
And I
Yeah.
just found one that felt like it fit our personality and seemed fun.
Yeah. Really cool.
Frankly,
And then for the listeners, this is also our first time talking about like how they
Oh,
found my
yeah.
art.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very,
we never really we were always like, okay, we need a commission. Let's do a commission. We never really had like a conversation with each
yeah.
other.
it's
Yeah. It's
fine.
my first time talking to you, period. It's always been Blake doing the, I think it's just
Oh yeah, I
Instagram,
didn't
right?
even
It
Yeah.
really,
realize
yeah,
that.
just Instagram
Yeah.
texting.
Are we trying to make it confusing because we don't want two people back then, messaging two different messages or get
I
confused with
mean,
multiple
yeah.
messages. We was like, Blake, you just contact Devious and you take care of the thing, and then I'll do all the other podcast work.
And I've sent one or two other people your way too. I think our cousin has
Our
artwork that you did for him as well for his
Really?
YouTube channel. Yeah,
yeah.
he's
Do
a
you know the channel? Do you know the
Uh,
like
I don't know if
what's
he
it?
uses that. I don't know if he changed his channel because he's about to launch a new channel. He did it was like I don't know if I got the picture to show you on camera. I can show you the picture of what he did, but I don't know if I kept it or not. Oh no.
trying to think. He's like
Keep
a
talking about while we're
he's if it helps, I'll try to describe. He's like a taller gentleman with red hair, and he's like screaming at the sky. And one
there
of
we
his
go.
hands, he has the
He
tattoo of
did
the
he did this one.
Triforce.
Oh yeah. I remember. I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah.
that was our cousin.
Oh, that was such a long time ago.
It
It was
is,
a
yeah.
minute.
Like time flies, man. And we only do like I got like a notification on Facebook one time that like when I did like the very first post for our podcast, it was like you did this post 2 years ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus.
It's been
And
a
we're
minute.
we're into like 3 years now, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like we're
over 3.
70 episodes, and we do like two a month. So at the time just
Well, now we do
flies
too. Now we're
by.
doing like one a month because we didn't know the scheduling
Yeah, that's fine.
conflicts and stuff like
So
that.
yeah. So we did
And
him. I don't
with you guys, it's even like you got numbers on your podcast. Like you can see, oh, we're already on the 70th one.
yeah.
I don't have like my art number. I can't go like back. Oh, this is my art piece number 175,
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
So it's like
It'd
for
be
me when
crazy
I
because
realize when I see old art, I'm
yeah,
like,
because you
dear Lord.
you draw like a good part of your day, don't you? So like numbering your art would be insane, I would think.
Oh
Wouldn't
yeah,
you?
I have like a folder. I mean, I this was like so heartbreaking because I had a folder with art from like elementary school on my computer that I
Wow.
transferred. And then my computer broke, it crashed.
No.
I lost all of the stuff on my hard drive, all of it,
Wow. That's
including that the
terrible.
oldest folder with the oldest art I had. I had like so much art, and then after that, all my art is like sort of the modern part of my art that wasn't like since I got like a bit better, but I would kill to find
To
that
see the
folder
old
again.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Just to have it.
some of
Just
it I posted back in the day on Facebook because it was like looking back at it now, I deleted it all. It was so bad, so cringy. But most of it I never even posted anywhere. I just drew for myself, and I can never find it again. So
wow.
nowadays I have a dedicated USB drive just for my
Hmm.
art backups. And like I number them by year when I did it.
Ah,
Every
very
like
cool.
few months or so I update it so I don't lose it. It's like so precious now.
Yeah. Do you have any a cloud surface to save it in the cloud? That you think the cloud
I
would be a
mean,
good place?
I use Google Photos for most of my stuff, but I don't usually upload all of that.
Hmm.
But still, even if Google Photos crashes, I lose like most of my photos from my life. But hopefully, it's never gonna suddenly die. And I still have quite a few
Yeah.
gigabytes of storage. But the art stuff, it's safe on the drive.
Yeah.
It's got its little dedicated drive that you don't use for anything else. Don't risk corruption, so
Hmm.
it's saved there on the laptop and on the USB drive. So hopefully I don't lose it again.
God, hopefully not.
It was
That's a lot of stuff. Like so you lost like everything from your childhood. Like,
Like probably since I started drawing like digitally to like up until high school. That's like maybe
gosh,
good 5 or 6 years of just random art
just gone.
down the drain, down the
Wow,
drain.
that's wild. That's
That's
super sad.
hurtful, actually. That hurts me, and I'm not even
Yeah. And
an
it's like
artist. That's
Deviant art was so long ago. It's like, oh, the ancient Deviant art when I got my first username. This art was before Deviant art.
Wow.
oh,
That never got posted. Like I still have most of my stuff like on DeviantArt there. I still have
Hmm.
the access to the account, and it's like the Pokemon fan art or whatever. But this stuff that I lost is way before DeviantArt even.
Mm. There you go.
that's actually. I'm sad. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
hurtful.
it's been a while, but yeah, I'm always
Still
gonna
hurts a little
remember.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Let's see here. All right. So here's a kind of a two-parter, I guess. What because you mentioned you did digital art and pen and paper. What is your favorite medium? Do you prefer pen and paper? Do you like digital? Like, what's your preferred
Mm,
method?
before, like a long time ago, since I mean, I don't consider myself a good artist now, but before, when I was even worse than now, it's like, oh, I love paper art because it's so much easier, it's like physically hands-on or whatever. But then I was like, oh, digital art is so amazing. You can do all this editing and whatnot. Nowadays, it's like for different purposes, really. I still have many sketchbooks that I still use, just pencil and paper, no color or nothing, and it's better for sketching out stuff, sketching ideas, practicing anatomy and stuff like that. I never use color on paper. I should learn someday how to use colors and markers and whatnot, but it's still like it's so much, like it's so easier doing that digitally. I just, I don't know, I can't be bothered to start like investing time into learning like paper and colored pencils. But when I want something rendered, when I want like graphic design done or stuff like that, then digitally is of course much better. But I also like dabble in like clay figures, doing stuff like that, doing like little paper crafts or whatnot. I dip my fingers and toes in every sort of like art thing wherever I can, because I've been doing that since like picked up a pen and paper, and since I started doing arts, I can remember. So I guess I like creating stuff. So it doesn't matter if it's like clay figurines, if it's little terrariums in jars or whatever. I love doing stuff, but my preferred is usually pen and paper for anatomy practices, for sketching. When I'm traveling, it's much easier to carry a sketchbook than a laptop. And for my professional work, for when I want it colored and want it colored well, and when I want it drawn perfectly, where I can edit every single detail and press the undo button when I need, I use digitally, of course, digital programs.
And
So it
here's the
depends.
second part to that question.
Mm.
What's your preferred subject to draw? Do you prefer like animals, inanimate objects, humanoid, Lovecraftian horrors?
Oh, easily creatures. Easily. I've learned drawing through like Ben 10. Like
Oh,
Oh,
Ben 10.
nice.
The original Ben 10
drawing,
was
yes, drawing like Ben 10 aliens and stuff like that. And I really got a knack for doing like little creature guys and like superheroes and whatnot. And then later on, I played Mega Man a lot. Mega Man like X4 was my favorite, and I drew like so many like little mechs and robots and enemies. The spider enemy was my favorite. It was so that's like my beginnings, like drawing little cartoon animals and creatures and characters. And then later on in high school, I really got like I realized I can't draw man. I can't draw humans at all. Like no, and I'm like, oh, I'm so bad at drawing people, blah blah. And then I realized I'm bad at drawing people because I never draw people. And then I started actively practicing, actually drawing people all the time. And now I love drawing like human characters, but still creatures and animals and like animal biology. I love biology. Like aside from art, I love biology and like evolutionary sciences and just animals in general. So that goes well with my skillful drawing of animals. That is better than drawing humans. But yeah, creatures for sure. But I'm still working on improving my employable skills. Drawing
Yeah.
more stuff. Branching out so I have more options and still be the best version of yourself that you can. I guess.
Yeah. No, we've only fed you humanoids, I guess. We didn't give you
no,
anything truly
Looking back, I
challenging.
wanted
with
to.
Jared's,
Yeah,
I
I
had him
wanted
draw a
to.
dinosaur.
Like, I we had the one with the
Yeah,
dinosaur in it.
Raptor with the
Yeah, Raptor.
guitars
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty. So that's probably the more unique one we've done, probably.
Yeah, I wanted to say like when you mentioned when you showed me that art for your cousin, looking back at the earlier thumbnails, I cringe so hard because they're so bad. The proportions are out of whack.
Oh, that
The
so
shape it's
that picture's bad to you? 'Cause-
it's awful.
oh, really?
I think
That's
I think
so
that's
funny.
the artist thing where everything they did in the past is bad.
Oh, yeah, you're never happy with the past.
Like it's so better now, and like it's an interesting thing when you're drawing for like clients for customers
Hmm.
because like as you improve, you also change your style a bit. Like it's
Hmm.
objectively better, but it's still different. And like if you just start drawing like, and especially if you have long-term clients, they like for you guys like 2 years ago maybe you got me for like you saw my art back then you're like okay we need this and then 2 years forward if I change my art style like it starts changing it's not what you wanted in the first place so like I'm in between like should I keep doing what I did now and keep this style even though I hate looking at it or should I like do what I do now then risk them saying oh this isn't this is too different to
Oh,
compare we had so far. So it's like a little artist dilemma. It's
yeah.
really
I
hard.
never thought about that before. That's crazy. We keep
Yeah.
we keep you stuck in the past, I guess. That's not good for you.
We're sorry.
I mean, dude, I draw all the time, like around, but it's like, should I just draw how I do now and risk, redrawing it all again, or should I stick to that stuff?
You draw
It's
whatever you feel
weird.
like. I tell you what we like, and you go
Yeah,
for it.
and I mean, after all, the customer can always say, "Oh, you can change this, change that." It's not like set in stone. We're not sending it by mail, by pigeon. It's like you just tell me to change
Yeah.
something, and it can be done easily.
That reminds me back when we first originally did our first art, we were missing a letter in part of our name. It was so funny. We didn't realize for the longest time we had used the art that had like controllers was missing the controllers part was missing an L, and we used it for a long time. And then I forget somebody said something to us. I forget who it was. Like somebody, this is years ago now. They're like, your thing is like spelled wrong, right? And we're like, oh, we have no idea.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, we didn't realize either. We didn't even think about it because we were so happy with the art and whatever. And spelling just comes second. We didn't even think about it. Everything else was right and perfect. And we were just like, oh man, we gotta. So he like it was just 2 years ago now. He emailed you and he kind of threw an extra, edited the thing to throw an extra letter in there. It was funny. We got a laugh out of it.
Yeah,
We
stuff
still
like
have
that
those
happens. I
ones.
remember. Yeah, I remember like uh when I played League of Legends a lot, like even early on, there's this character Thresh, and it's spelled like not like the tool Thresh, but like Threash, like
Hmm.
Thresh. But I never really, I guess, paid attention to it, like to see it written down or whatever. I just liked the character a lot, and I did like fan art of it on DeviantArt, and I like did all of this like neat presentation where it's like the drawing of Thresh in the background. It's like says Thresh in the foreground, but it said Tresh instead of Thresh. It said Tresh. I realized that maybe like 2.5 years later that it's misspelled this entire time.
Wow.
I had
Nope.
no clue there's an H there.
It's hilarious.
It
It
happens.
happens though. I mean,
That's why people have to get like editors and stuff. Like, hey, there's a
Yeah,
typo
exactly.
here. There's a
so I'll say, because we have a couple of this be funny. Some of our listeners won't know this. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now since we're on the subject. But we've made some shirts and stuff, and a couple of like shirts with our podcast art on it. Okay, so I have both versions of the art. I have the art with the misspelling, and I have the art with the correct spelling.
So,
When I'm
the
when I
modern
made
and the legacy version.
yeah, well, by accident, when I made the original shirts, I made it with the wrong art. So there's a couple of folks out there. If you bought your shirts, it's like, I don't know, a dozen or so people or so. Before I caught it, you have it. You have a shirt that has the incorrect spelling. So I would keep that as a collector's item. Your shirt has the incorrect spelling. I went back and fixed it now on the website, but like originally, yeah, you have a shirt with the incorrect spelling. So take a look at your
Yeah,
shirts, people.
legacy items. Legacy
Exactly.
items.
So funny. You got something else, Blake?
yes. Let's see here. All right. So you mentioned. You actually didn't mention this. I should ask. Um, sorry. So did you go to school for art, or are you self-taught?
I didn't. I wanted to go, like, I finished medical high school,
Mm.
believe it or not. And I'm an English major instead of being a doctor or whatever. So there is a grab bag of education. But back in elementary, I wanted to like go study graphic design. But back then, the only like graphic design high school that was like nearest to me was like 3 cities away, and
Oh,
like my parents didn't really want me to, like back then, like first year of high school, to travel all that much or to like live by my own. So they're
Mhm.
like, oh well, you could do that, or you could go study, in a medical high, and like you're gonna have a job as soon as you finish it. You don't even need a university or college. You can go work as a nurse or whatever. It's like a done deal. And in Bosnia as well, and like the rest of the Balkans, like being a doctor is like that stereotype of like for immigrant parents that come to the US and like be a doctor, be a lawyer, whatever. Everyone's here like that. Everyone is like you're either a lawyer or a doctor or a failure. There's no in between.
oh
So
wow.
they're like, oh, I'll go to medical school, blah blah. So I had to go there. I finished 1 year of med in my town. There they opened a graphic design high school.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
after a year of med, and I couldn't transfer. It was like too late. The high school was like, oh, you need to work hard to get into medical high school. It's like so hard to get there. And imagine like you get in, and they're like, oh, but I want to leave now, even though I got in barely. So it was like hell, but I don't regret it, since like seeing like friends and like artists online as well that did like do professional graphic design. There's a special, I mean, I'm not to toot my own horn, but there's a special charm in like self-taught art
Mhm.
that you don't get from like professional art. Professional art is like really by the books, and even if you go and like stray from it and do your own thing, there's still that, like you can feel the constraints in it, while self-taught artists are like, there are no rules, there are no limitations. That, like style wise, plus you didn't waste like, I don't know, 4 years on studying something that you could have studied at home and gotten money for. It's like programming. You
Yeah.
can study programming on your own, get a job in programming, no degree needed. But someone will, in that time you can also like go to whatever other high school or college you want. Like while you're studying that, you have two employable skills. While if you study just graphic design or program or whatever for like 4 or 5 years, and you finish it, and there's this other guy that didn't study it for a day, and then he got a job before you did.
Yeah,
Just
you just never know how it's going to go down. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm kind of glad I didn't go to like a graphic design school or like an art school, because didn't waste time, didn't waste money, because I really, I've been drawing from like a really young age, so it was bound that my art would get
Yeah,
good
I
at some.
mean, at this point now, as you've been drawing for so long, what could a school actually teach you about drawing?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I mean,
Only the fundamentals, the boring, this is an anatomy, shading, whatever, but there are, especially nowadays and in the 21st century, there are so many like hours of tutorials on any subject you might think of, that you can just find at the press of a button, like
mm,
for free on YouTube. Like they're still like paid online class, but there's so much stuff for free. I learned all of my skills off of YouTube, all of
wow.
them. It's like such a waste of money for like to pay immense amounts of money, especially in the US, knowing how college is
Oh yeah.
expensive.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy to pay so much for something you can find online and like learn at home.
It's bonkers. And
Yeah.
speaking of the self-taught stuff, on our Jared was our 50th episode, right?
Yeah.
The gentleman who you drew the raptor for.
Yeah.
He's a musician, and he's a pretty up and coming with a pretty good band of music.
Yeah.
If you like rock at all. And well, we asked him about it, and he said he didn't go to school either
For music.
for music at all. Everything he did was self-taught. He
Yeah.
learned like on YouTube, or he learned to do tabs.
Or he just listened and try to play it back.
Yeah, and he says to this day he doesn't know how to read music, but he can. He's a guy who makes music for a living, but he can't read
Yeah,
it.
they're on
Yeah.
tour right now. Like they're playing a few cities away from us. They're playing music. He has a band. He's doing the whole thing, but
Exactly.
never learned how
Exactly.
to really do it. But he taught himself. So
He and his brother,
his brothers in the band as
and he
well.
also mentioned that what's the word? He thought about going and taking lessons now, but he was worried that it would affect how he makes music now, because it would
Oh
maybe try
yeah.
to beat out his old bad
Same
habits that
thing.
for
Like
him aren't
if he
bad
went to
habits.
if he went to school, he would affect his art. Maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want to do
So
that.
if it's yeah,
So many of those like quote unquote bad habits are also like what makes your art your art.
yeah,
Mhm,
So
exactly.
whether it's visual or music or whatever, it's like there's a charm to it. As I said, when you're self-taught, you make so much errors that you don't even know they're errors, and you just turn them into style by time, and like you get good enough. What's bad with being self-taught is like your art is objectively not as good as it can be, but you just chalk it up to, oh no, this is my style or whatever. Well, you see that oftentimes in like artist communities, which is really, I mean, it's a positive mindset to have. Like, there is no objective perfect art, but still you can see bad art when you see it. Like, you know it when you see it, and like to stay on that level and to never improve just because you're self-taught. Like when you're in school, your teacher's gonna be like, oh no, this is bad, improve it. But when you're self-taught, you don't
Yeah.
have that filter,
They
and
also like
oftentimes, yeah.
go ahead. They say like art is subjective. So what makes now I'm not an artist, but you have the what makes if you can say it in words, what makes bad art? If all art is subjective, how do you know when something's truly bad?
I mean, you know it when you see it, really. If it's, and even art can be bad on purpose. Like any
Yeah.
sort of art, not even visual, is there to invoke an emotion, whether it's awe, rage, disgust, like love or whatever. It's there to, if an art piece aims to invoke disgust, and it invokes disgust, it's a good art. If an art aims to invoke coolness or empathy or like happiness, and it invokes fear and disgust, it's bad art.
Hmm.
okay, that makes sense.
But can't that
If
artist
it
just
fails
can't
to
that
do what it wants.
I guess but can't the artist just change what they were trying to say? Like, oh no,
I
no, like
mean,
I meant I
probably
meant
happens.
disgust.
It probably happens.
Yeah. Maybe that's a bad artist then if they can't decide if they can't really say what their art is maybe that makes a bad artist. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
even like it's not even quality of visual. Like you see all these movies that have millions of dollars in funding, and they're like objectively good-looking movies, but you watch them and you're disappointed. You're bad. I mean, they're bad, and it's just the dissonance between what the movie wanted to accomplish and what it actually did accomplish. So it's not even that it looks like, oh, your arms on this character are too long, or the shading is bad. It's not stuff like that. You can have perfect anatomy, perfect shading, but if your art failed to deliver what you wanted it to deliver, it's bad art.
Mm.
I didn't even think about that till just now when you mentioned it, but being an artist and watching, say, like animated films or CGI in movies, does it like take you out of the movie when you see like you're like, oh, I could do something better than that, like, and I'm not being paid money,
Oh,
for this type
I
of.
oftentimes, and like for not for the reasons you think, because like I'm really huge movie buff. I love like
Me too,
learning
bro.
about plots and characters and plot structures, and why I'm a movie nerd. And oftentimes it ruins my movie watching experience because I can just, if I didn't know all of that, oh, it's just a movie. Let's turn my brain off, look at the pretty colors, be entertained, and that's it. But when oh, this set dressing is kind of weird,
Yeah, hold
going
on.
really well. This character motivation is like, where is it? Why is this character doing this? And it takes me out of the movie. But like art wise, you see stuff like, I don't know, Ghostbusters or Back to the Future, where they literally have VFX drawn on, like an effect that you can accomplish in like GIMP or MS Paint, but it still like conveys the message they wanted to convey. Like it
Yeah.
still does what it's there to do. So you're not like, oh, this is a really bad movie. Like, look at these effects; they're so bad. And it's not just, oh, it's of the time or whatever. It's like, oh, so that's why it's bad. It's objectively enjoyable, and you're enthralled by it, and you're like, you're not taken out of the movie because the effects and the art serves its purpose perfectly. But when you see like nowadays the CGI in movies, people, it's so bad, blah blah. The CGI is perfect. It's not bad. It's like photorealistic compared to anything ever done. Like even miniatures back in the day, the CGI is doing ungodly stuff nowadays. But it's the use that's bad. It's how they use these things that takes you out of it, and then you blame the art instead of blaming
Yeah.
like how the art was used and what the message was and what it actually ended up being.
Yeah, people were complaining about that. People were complaining about what recently, She-Hulk or something, that like
Yeah,
She-Hulk looked real bad. I don't know if you followed that stuff on the internet at all. People
yeah,
were
yeah.
complaining
No,
about
I
that.
do.
Like
I
I
do.
didn't really see. Like I didn't. I mean, she's green. I don't know what people wanted. I don't know what they were looking at. It
Exactly.
was. Yeah, I don't know, but they changed it and made it better. I was like, I don't know. Like you said, they spent a lot of money on that show, and she looks green. I don't know what they wanted.
Barely different.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know. I don't have an artist
those
eye,
those
so
people, those people, that they're a vocal minority because
All the Marvel
let's say
folks.
let's see like if you see a movie and it's like everything you needed, like it's perfect, there's nothing bad with it, it's not like groundbreaking, but it's serviceable, it's fine, it's great, it's a good movie, good effects. You're not gonna go on Twitter and say, oh my god, this movie was so average, it was so normal, so good or whatever. But if you see a movie that's like, oh, this kind of looks bad or whatever, I don't like this, then you're really gonna go out there and complain.
oh yeah.
Exactly.
Because the majority of people, if the majority is like, okay, this She-Hulk effects, okay, yeah, like you said, oh, she's green, that's what's supposed to be, I guess, she's supposed to be green. What is there else? You're not gonna go on Twitter and say, oh, I like this CGI. Like, oh, it's fine. She's supposed to be green. You don't really have a motivation to say it. But
Yeah,
people who don't like it really want to say they don't like it. And they
exactly.
are the
Yeah.
ones who are going to go out and be like, this is so bad. And then they influence other people that were like on the fence about it, and just this the echo chamber of, oh, this is bad, right? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
this is bad.
It's like that. That was pretty big, and then of course a couple years back was the Sonic the Hedgehog one.
But that was
Oh, yeah.
for the
Oh,
better.
that was hilarious to watch unfold.
I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. Like I'm kind of glad they changed it, but I think it's dangerous to do stuff like that. Like when a big studio like folds, like they folded on Sonic so fast. And like I think you're giving too much
Yeah.
power to the internet to like, and they at least they should have fought it for a couple of weeks, but they like folded overnight and like gave up on it completely.
I
So I
mean,
think it's scary how powerful that was.
yeah, but still, as a studio, you want to earn money. And
Yeah.
when the people that are gonna give you money for the movie are like, "This sucks. This is disgusting. I hate this," you're probably gonna change it if you want those people to give you money for it.
You're
And
right.
this is also like a good example of what I said earlier. Sonic in that movie, it wasn't a horror movie. It wasn't like a gross out comedy. It was supposed to be like a cool family friendly,
Video
heartwarming
game
Sonic
movie.
video gaming movie. Yeah. and people were disgusted by it. It looked creepy to them. It looked like like it belonged in a horror movie. And like there's the dissonance between what the artists wanted the message of their film to be, what they
Exactly.
wanted it to be, and what the audience actually took from it. And that's what makes it bad in the eyes of the audience.
Yeah, that's a really good
If
example.
they
Yeah.
were to make a horror Sonic movie where Sonic is some like the thing for in the Antarctic or whatever, like
Oh, yeah.
that Sonic, the first Sonic design would be perfect for it.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
would complain.
Because I was going to bring that up because we were talking about like CGI and practical. I think the best thing in the world is when they're blended together perfectly. Because I've seen like
Yeah,
certain, how do I explain this? Um, to this day, my favorite horror movie of all time is Hellraiser from 1987.
right.
And everything in that movie is all practical, very little CG. But then you look at more like I'll say mid 90s to early 2000s. I can't think of the movie, but there was a werewolf movie where they built the dude, uh, I guess, biologically accurate wolf legs, but they also
Is that is
built
that,
a
is that,
fruit.
is that Bad Moon?
I think it may have been Bad Moon, but they also built it to where he could wear green screen pants and he could
Oh
walk in
yeah,
it
I've
like they were
seen it.
stilts, but it
They
still
did
moved as
they
if he
did the
was
same thing in Pan's Labyrinth for like the pale guy.
yeah,
They did
for
the
Oh
same thing. He
yeah.
Pan.
had like huge legs, and then the actor had his like actual legs in like a green screen pants like underneath them because his legs were also like weirdly shaped.
Very
And
cool.
I think that's the best when you blend them together perfectly. Like even
Yeah.
in
Because like the practical can look so good, and you're kind of looking at, so you can get the legs to look weird in CGI, but you won't be focused so much on the CGI as you focus on the creature in front of you,
mhm.
probably.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring it up because everyone talks about it so much being one of the greatest movies of all time, but I'll bring up Battlestar Galactica and I'll bring up Avatar. What they did
Right.
is they did their practical effects where they built the set a lot more than you thought was actually there. And then like they built a tree that was up to like waist high, but then CGI the rest of the way so people could like walk through and touch the physical piece. And then
Yeah.
they did the wiggle of the tree the rest of the way, but like blended together perfectly because Avatar is still considered one of the most beautiful movies of all time,
Yeah.
one of the greatest, even though it's just Pocahontas. But we want to get into that.
I mean, if it's just the numbers, they also show like up until recently, Avatar was like the highest grossing movie of all time. So
Wild.
like
I,
it earned a lot of money.
I don't know if you're a fan. We're not gonna go into the whole Avatar thing, but I watched it one time when it came out, and I haven't gone back to it.
Me neither. And like I can't like there's this popular meme like name one character from Avatar. I really can't. I
Oh
can't.
crap!
I know they're called Navi, the race, but I can't name like a single character. But I still don't remember hating it. I remember it was a really fun movie, and like I actually am looking forward to
the Way of
the
Water.
yeah, the Way of Water.
I mean, it
And
looks
recently
gorgeous.
also,
I'll watch it, but I'm just like,
yeah,
Yeah, you said like name one character. I can't name a single character.
I can
Granted, I
name
watched it once. I mean, how long? How old's that movie now?
I can name the actors. I think
The
like it
actors.
was
Well,
Zoe Saldana and Mark
oh
Sam
yeah,
Worthington and Sigourney Weaver, of course, and then I think one of the characters' name was Jake. Maybe
I have no
yeah,
maybe.
vaguely remember them pronouncing Jake weirdly like the aliens.
Hmm.
that's about it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because it's literally just Pocahontas. I don't care what anyone says. It's Pocahontas, but
Oh, not even Pocahontas. Actually, I was about to say like Avatar. I've watched Atlantis recently, the animated one. Like I haven't watched it as a child. I watched like maybe this year. Atlantis, or I should say Avatar, is beat by beat Atlantis. You
oh,
have
the
the
Atlantis, the
army.
Lost Empire, right?
Yeah, you
The
have the you
old
have
Disney
the
cartoon.
army. Yeah, you have the army that's like, oh, there's this amazing land we found. Let's go there to get resources. But the characters don't know we're here for resources. They think we're just exploring and meeting the natives. And then the natives are like almost like alien-like. You know, you have this entire natural world with this natural magic and whatever. And then the main character falls in love with the woman from like this magical like alien world, and then the army was like, psych, actually, we're here for the resources. We're going to destroy this place. And then the guy who fell in love joins the alien people, and then he defends the alien people by attacking together with them and their technology and their flying objects, whether it's flying motorcycles or flying four-winged creatures, to attack the army and like defeat the attackers. And then he lives with them forever after. It's beat by beat.
That's the same movie.
Yeah.
I've always compared it, like I said, to Pocahontas because it's outsiders coming to a native land to steal
Yeah.
the resources. I used Pocahontas and I used Fern Gully are the two ones I always associated with. I didn't even think about it. Atlantis. Atlantis is a good damn movie. Um, but I didn't even think about that. You're 100% right.
That's wild.
But it's not the most original movie of all time. It's not an
I
original
mean, yeah.
story
I think people were just blinded by the visuals more
because it
than
is
anything.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely
I
stunning.
never watched it in 3D. 3D always gives me a headache.
I
I
can't do
hate
3D.
3D. I hate it.
It's a
It's
gimmick.
awful.
He's not pushing the new one in
It
3D.
is a
So
gimmick, yeah.
yeah. I watched one movie in 3D. I can't remember what it was. I couldn't even watch it. I had to like end up taking my glasses off, my 3D
And even
glasses
if
off
you
and
take
watching it
them off,
blurry.
the screen is all fucked up still. And it's like the little green, it's like made to be 3D.
Yeah.
So like you can't even enjoy it if you take them off. You actually have to go to a 2D showing. So it's
Yeah.
just
It's too much work.
What's really funny too is I worked at a movie theater in my youth when I was like 16, 17, and most movies that come to theaters that are quote unquote 3D, they're not. I think Avatar and one other movie were the only movies legitimately filmed with 3D cameras in 3D. Because
yeah,
most of the time, all they do is they pop a different lens on and a filter, and it
yeah,
makes it bendy and kind of gives it slight depth, but it's not actual ever 3D. So
Yeah.
they can
yeah.
give you an extra $4 a ticket. It's a money making, like I
I
said,
know.
gimmick.
Not
It's more,
anymore. No, nobody cares anymore about 3D.
no one really cares about 3D anymore.
We went off wild on a tangent there.
It's fine. We have a good time.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Okay, I've got a few other shit. Okay, you play video games a whole bunch. Well,
Yep.
maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but you hopefully you do. Do you have a favorite genre of game you like to play?
I love playing good games. That's why I
Good.
like to say with movies, and I love watching good movies. I like playing good games. I don't really have a genre.
Yeah.
If the game is like well made, the well built story, it doesn't even have to be like story focused. If it's just good, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna love it. So yeah, that's my favorite genre of video games.
But that's fair.
That's a good.
Have you ever, have you ever, or would you ever like to be a part of like a video game art department and like draw for a video game?
I've been working on my own video games for a while now. I
Oh
had
wow.
like
Oh,
yeah, that's like my end goal in life. I want to be like make video games, whether it's art programming or whatever. I did it. I did it once in Game Maker Studio. People who've ever tried like making games probably know it. And like it's like a little maze solver, maze runner, like top down. Like it's pixelated 2D, but it has like the illusion of being 3D. It's not like a screen top down view. It's like sort of like Animal Crossing.
Hmm.
And then Windows 10 updated one day, and it destroyed half my code on Game Maker. And then I
Oh.
had to scrap all of it. I couldn't use any of it. I even paid for like paid $60 for like the Game Maker license, so I can export the game and like give it to people to play test. I was at
Hmm.
that point where I had a few levels that could be play tested, and that just destroyed me, and like I gave up on it. I didn't do anything for like
Oh
2 or 3
wow.
years, and then lately I moved on to Godot engine, which is like a little better. Been working on a little like the running title is Space Nautica, because like you're in space, like on a moon, you have to watch your oxygen levels or whatnot, like in Subnautica, but in space. So I'll see where this goes. But yeah, I'd love to. I've been working on my own, like, and then I usually prefer, if I can't, make a game on my own, which is like a really huge undertaking. Um, if I had to choose between working in a team, like as an artist, like for somebody else's vision, and as someone who has his own vision, but I need to employ artists, and pay them to like do this, I'd much rather like do art for somebody else's vision, because I know I could never explain fully what I really want and need in a game that's like in my head. And I will never be fully satisfied with whatever, no matter how good you are, whatever you make, I'll never be fully satisfied because I didn't make it. I didn't make it
Mm.
how I
Mm.
wanted to.
Yeah,
So it's either
exactly.
going to be a part of a larger production, somewhere lower down, or I'm going to do it Stardew Valley style and like make an entire game on my own, like sound, visuals, everything.
Hmm.
Hmm. Uh, speaking of wanting to maybe work with someone, do you have any artists that you've ever collaborated with, or an artist you'd like to give a shout out to for our fans to maybe look up after this is over?
Oh, I can't really
Sorry.
think of any. No, yeah, not really. I haven't been a part of any bigger projects. I could shout out the website, but it's like it's I don't think it's like really active nowadays. I've been doing a lot of, if you remember Neopets, this
No.
site is like an offshoot of Neopets, like Marapets. And this is like where I got most of my professional work done. Like when I started actually getting like money for my art, I did so much stuff for Marpets, so many illustrations and whatnot. And if people can check it out and see, see my art there, that would be cool. But I haven't really been, and still that part of me that wants to do everything on its own, like on his
Yeah.
own. I haven't been really a part of any
Oh, yeah.
collaborations or anything. I mean, your podcast is probably the only thing where I'm like, oh, I'm a part of something bigger and not just doing one-off commissions.
Yeah, that's coul though.
I mean, you think, yeah, it is cool.
We're small. We're small enough that you're almost still by yourself.
Yeah.
It's gonna get bigger. You'll keep on it.
Yeah,
It's
we keep
gonna
on.
get bigger.
We keep on pecking away. That we had talked to well we heard we listened to other podcasts, and there was like this guy on a podcast that he said that um if you keep doing like keep making stuff, you're ahead of like 90% of people. Like
Yeah, who just
90%
want to do
90%
something,
quit.
but yeah,
Yeah, so we just keep chugging away, and we're not like we said before. We said we're on this podcast. We're not doing this to be famous or anything. We're doing this because we like talking about video
yeah,
games and movies and music and art and stuff like that. That's why the podcast is here, to just talk about fun stuff and meet cool people. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
kind of why it's here. Like nobody, and we say like nobody makes a living off podcasts if you're not already famous anyway. So it's not what it's
yeah.
about. And we also usually choose really niche games for our podcast.
Like weird off the beaten path.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy these guest podcasts. It lets us talk to some people. We've had, like I said, we've had a musician, we've had a pretty popular
Director.
YouTuber. Well, our buddy Jeff is a movie director. He's directed a couple movies, and it's pretty cool having him on.
Yeah, I don't know if when you said you like movies a whole bunch, you should look
Yeah.
up you can find it on VOD. Just look for it somewhere. Look for Tennessee Gothic if you want to if you want a
I
movie.
remember like cropping that logo for the shirt in his thumbnail
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
working on that art.
Yeah. You should definitely, if you're a movie buff, you should definitely watch it. It's a horror comedy. Very,
It's
very,
a
very fun.
horror. It's a
It's like a
horror sex
horror
I,
sex
I
comedy.
think back then I even Googled, like there was a trailer, I think,
Yes.
for
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched it back in the day, but I don't remember if I actually like watched the movie or not. But I
Yeah.
do remember Googling it. I do remember like seeing it.
Yeah, it's very cool because we knew him. He's a friend of ours. We knew him before he made that movie. He's made other like more obscure kind of like art house movies, but then he made this was like more of like a
Mainstream.
like a mainstream kind of comedy thing. So it was really cool to have that come out and have him on the podcast and stuff. But that's a cool movie. You should try to, when you got time, give it a watch.
And it's so amazing, like when you know someone and they do these amazing things, like make movies. I know a few friends of mine are in a band, and they released an album earlier this year, and it's like watching someone like you've spoken to, as a friend, and watching them like perform or do something. You're usually just like, you're usually removed from your entertainment, or like from the
Exactly.
people who make your entertainment, and then you're like, this person, and then you see them do this amazing thing, and like it's like blows my mind, at least, like
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah,
friends do stuff like that.
yeah, it's a strange experience. Yeah.
It is weird seeing him, like when they release like the behind the scenes of like him holding the camera and like with a super serious look on his face, telling people they need to be over here and do that. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's not the Jeff I know. I know the goofy guy.
Yeah.
It is weird
Exactly.
seeing
And
people in their
usually it's
profession.
even crazier seeing like you love his movie, or yeah, if you have a friend who does music, like the friends of mine, they're like so into it, so serious, and so well made, and then you talk to them, they're like, oh, you actually like it? I was so insecure. This kind of sucks. Oh, we hate this. Oh, this could have been better. You're like, what are you talking about? Like, it's perfect. Like, I loved every second of it. Well, the artist is always gonna be like, I hate my work. I want it better, and it's always gonna be like that. You're
Yeah,
always gonna hate it, and it can always be better.
we have some music that I play because we always skip it for our guest podcast, but we do like a social media preamble where we sell all that
Mhm.
crap. And under that, I usually play a music bed. And one of those music beds is from my fiance's work. She has a guy who like works at the hospital with her, but on the side he does music. She said he barely talks about it and he's really shy in person, but then you go to his
Yeah.
music and it's just like this awesome layered like just metal stuff that it plays under our podcast, and he gave me like two tracks to use, but she said you never would have guessed that by talking to him,
Yeah.
but then you listen to the music, his music's just so much louder and just everything more bigger than his normal talking kind of personality. It's kind of cool to see that kind of stuff. I haven't met the guy yet, but I like his music. So
Yeah, it's always amazing seeing that, and those artists are always going to be like, no, this isn't that special. This isn't that good. They're never amazed with their work. They're always shy. I mean, no, on my own example, whenever I do something, people are like, oh, you actually did this. This is so amazing. I'm like, what's amazing
well
about it?
that's
Like, I literally spent an hour on it and I hate it already. Like, what's amazing about it?
that's the thing. Well, like with talking about you, like every time we get something from you, we're like, damn, this is so cool. And thinking that you're sitting there like this is shit. Like
Yeah,
I can't believe I sent this to them.
100%, 100%.
They're going to hate it. It's so funny, but every time we see it, we're like, oh man, this is exactly like the regular art and all the other stuff we've gotten. I know it's so funny. The artists are just all self-loathing, I guess.
Oh, probably. Yeah. If you're not self-loading as an artist, you're probably a hack.
You are
You're
your
probably
own worst
Well,
critic.
I'm the worst way. Like I edit the podcast, so I don't normally go back and listen to him aside from the edit. But Blake will go back and listen to him. He's like, "You should go back and listen to the old episodes of the podcast." And I tried listen to our old episodes, and I was just like disgusted by every second. I
oh
was
yeah.
like, "I can't listen to this trash. I can't believe that anybody listened to any of this
I
garbage we
know
put out back then." So
I know
I get that.
exactly what
I'm
you're
not a
talking
like I don't consider myself an artist, whatever. But like it's just like that whole where I was when I was editing in the beginning to where I am now is like a whole different ball game
I know
for sure.
exactly what you're talking about. I still have like there's a channel, my cousin's channel on YouTube, and we have two videos of me and my cousin in it. That like the channel isn't deleted because I don't talk to him anymore. And I don't even think he has the password to it, but it's still like up.
Yeah.
And like seeing 2012 like 2012 me talking broken English, like barely piecing together words and like trying to translate Bosnian into English in his head and like showing a magic trick or whatever, talking to the camera. I want to die when I look back at it. I want to destroy the video, the person that's in it. I want to never see it again. I want to erase it from my memory. It's so cringeworthy. It's so awful
That's funny.
listening to, especially if you're like that removed, like it's when it's been like that many years. It's so like a really humbling experience
Yeah.
when you look at it.
It's, I'm not I'm a artist of the written word. I write a bunch. I've actually have one thing published, and it's what like I'm the exact opposite. Like I'm so proud of it.
Maybe our writer's different. I don't
Oh
know.
no, when we don't get me wrong, I hated it. I mean, that was by far not the first draft. Like I literally not ripped, deleted full blown pages. I was like, nope, that is
Yeah,
all trash. Just held delete until the page was gone, and then rewrote something else. It's only like 17 pages, but it took me like a year and a half to get it written. And I
yeah,
can't. You're always your own worst critic, and self editing is so difficult.
I know.
It was only 17 pages, but it took me. I think it almost took me 2 years
Yeah.
because I was just like, no,
I
this
I
is trash.
I don't know if it's surprising at this point, considering how much stuff, how much stuff I do. But I also tried writing. I'm still writing a story for like I've been working like since 2016, like on this world building project of mine, an entire world with like starting from biology, races, politics, like
Oh, like a
geopolitics,
tabletop
everything. Like
RPG style, like you go
yeah,
in
yeah,
depth.
something like that. But it's like it's removed from any like game rules or whatever. I just want to make a world for whatever comics, stories, games. Just it's fun working, and you learn so much trying to like do stuff like that. I learned so much about geopolitics, so much about like history of our own world, about biology, about like sociology. It's crazy. And like I'm writing a story about this character of mine, like which is the character in my like my logo of my profile, Devious.Pixel profile. The black and white mask it's a character from the world, and I'm still writing on it, writing the story for about a year now. And like I get to a point where like, well, how will they do this now? How will he go there? And then I'm stuck on it for like half a year trying to figure something out. And like later on I'll get back to it, delete half of it, try to write again, and like hit the same roadblock, and so on and so on.
That's crazy.
I feel your pain. It's rough. Like because before I even wrote the little story I had the ending. I was like,
Yeah.
I just pictured the ending. I was like, I love this.
Same
Now,
here.
how do I get to
Same
this
here.
point?
Yeah, how do you get to the end?
How do I
wanna
get to this
there.
point? It was so difficult, but I love it. I was basically that became like a birthing process, the
Yeah.
deleting and finally getting it out there. I'm like, I'm so proud of it, but I hated it its entire life until now,
Yeah.
until
And
it
I,
was
and I
finished.
feel there's a different type of pride where you're like, I hate this, but I'm so proud it's published. I'm so proud, like it's like you feel sort of validated when it's like published. Like the same thing could have been on your laptop, like up until this day, with like no one like looking at it, and you would have thought differently about it probably compared to now when it's like published. You feel so,
Okay.
oh, now it's like a real literature when it's published. Whether like it's like now it's real art when like it's out there, when like people are using it for podcast thumbnails. This is now like real art. If it's like
Mm-hmm.
sitting on my laptop, oh, this is just some sketches I did. Like they suck, they're awful, this is never gonna go anywhere, I'm not proud of them, I hate them. But like when stuff gets used somewhere, when it gets published, you're like, it's still my art, it still could be better, it's still bad, but it's published, so it must be sort of good. People
Yeah,
must like it if it's published. So you feel
yeah,
like, I feel like there are two different types of like relationship to the same piece of art.
yeah. Because your name's attached to all the stuff on our podcast. So whether you
Yeah.
like it or not, it's your name's attached to it.
Real deal, actual work, actual like CV material.
Yeah, yeah. You got something else, Blake? We're kind of moving along here.
Let's
Yeah,
see here.
we're coming up on an hour right now.
Yeah, I got just a few more smaller questions, I think. Okay, so I noticed you do a lot of these monthly art challenges.
Yeah.
I think, do you have a favorite one that you've done, like either month or subject?
Oh, I have the favorite and a least favorite as well, and they're both Inktober. The first one I did because I love, black and white, because it's so much easier than color. You have to think about so many things when you're coloring it and shading it, and it can, when you have so many moving parts, it can oftentimes end up looking bad because those moving parts aren't, incorporated correctly. But with like black and white ink and like basic shading, it's so much more relaxing and so much more like simple, so much simpler. So the first Inktober I did is like probably my favorite, and I didn't even do it digitally. I did it in my sketchbook with like an ink pen. I took a photo of it each day, turned the contrast all the way up so there's like no shadow of the page and no texture on the page, so just like ink and white beneath, and then I would post that on my Instagram. So it's like it sort of looks like digitally done, but I actually like have all of those like in my sketchbook. That's like my favorite month. My least favorite was the Inktober I did like last year, I think, or maybe a year before that. I was like, let's experiment, let's use these challenges to improve,
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's fuse Inktober and these prompts with like a limited palette. Like let's just pick 6 colors, do nothing else, like aside from black and white plus those 6 colors, and see what I can do. I like maybe 3 of those out of the 30 something of those arts. The rest I hate, I despise. I want to archive them all. It's awful.
I think just recently back in June was Kai June.
Yeah.
Every month, every day was a different kaiju.
Yeah. Did you take part in that or
Oh
you
yeah,
did?
yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't look at Instagram. I mean, I don't. Blake's on Instagram. I don't even look at it. So he sees he sees all your stuff you do on Instagram.
It
Yeah,
was
and
all pretty
even
cool.
even Kaiju I used to like practice rendering and like doing not even less cartoony, but just like more detailed, I guess, more like scenery instead of like individual characters. I adore, same as with most of my shows, I adore like maybe a handful of those that I did. There's a lot of those that I'm like they're serviceable, and then a large portion that I just hate, and they're just up there. So I have something for that day. Like
Well,
the Panko one, the Panko robot that I did. Oh, it's awful. It is just I did it like 3 in the morning. I had to put something, and it was Panko. So I did this like robot that's like in the process of being spray painted by drones. Like companies are starting to sponsor like large kaiju robots, but
yeah.
like the shading, the detail, it's like all awful. I hate it so much.
Where do
Not
you
to
pull? How do you? Where do you pull idea? Like, where do you pull the inspiration for a whole every day? How do you throw that together?
If I could answer that, then probably all of those days would be perfect and they would look amazing. If I did have inspiration for each of those, I just think about it
Uh,
and like let's see. I try not to spend too much time on like brainstorming. Like the first, usually most of those, when I start putting the proverbial pen in Photoshop on paper, that's the version I'm gonna end up with. I don't usually like scrap and delete. I maybe make a few thumbnails that I can choose between, but that's like a rare occasion. I try
mhm.
to like just dish them out and like practice like my work ethic, practice like just drawing and like shading. And if it sucks by the end of it, it sucks. It's going up. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna spend 5 more minutes on it. Just need it out. And oftentimes, it's even due to the time constraint, stuff can come out looking good.
Hmm.
So it's just like the first idea that comes to my mind. I draw it, and yeah.
Do you think the a time constraint is good for art? People say time constraints work for movies and other stuff. You think a
Ooh,
time constraint really
absolutely,
pushes you?
absolutely. The more constraints you have, time wise, theme wise, whatever, the more creative your work is gonna be. Absolutely.
because if you walk up to somebody and you're like, "Hey, I need you to just draw me anything," and they're like, "Oh," and they just get what do you call it?
Choice
Yeah,
paralysis.
choice paralysis. But if you're like, "Hey, I need you to draw me something that is," like you said, maybe give me something that's strictly black and white and make it um humanoid. And like, okay, let me see what I can. It just the more, and it just makes your mind become
Yeah.
more creative because you focus strictly down that path.
Yeah, we've did
Yeah.
pretty like our stuff that we've asked for you has been pretty like we want these specific details
Yeah.
within the arts. I guess that might have made it a little more streamlined to kind of what we needed to do. I guess that was probably better.
I
Maybe.
hope.
Yeah. And I mean it's good when you can enjoy your professional like work and you like commissions you do, but you don't always have that luxury. So like art that you do professionally, like commissions for people, is so much more like different from art you do like as a hobby, like whether
Hmm.
it be just challenges or like you doing something randomly. It's really different because here I'm sort of removed from it because it's not my idea. It's like somebody else's idea. Like you need me, it's like you try it out in the sand and I cast it in the sand. Like yeah, sure, I did like the casting in the sand, but you still drew the outline for me. I did like a lot
Yeah.
of work, but you showed me what and where to do. So it's much different, where at least I don't know about other artists, but at least I'm sort of removed from these like works that I do as a commission because it's not my idea. Like it's not my like. Sure, there's creative input from the artist because you can't, as someone who commissions art, you can't like perfectly explain every single pixel perfect detail you want in
Yeah.
that like picture. But still, I'm kind of removed from it because it's not my work, not my idea. I guess it's like I don't know.
It's like a strange question. Do you ever like when somebody's commissioning something and they like feed you an idea? Do you ever like get to a point where you're like no, I'm not going to do that, or no, I can't do that, or as an artist you just take whatever challenge is given you?
Thankfully, haven't had like nightmare commissions yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Like so most of my stuff, because the stuff that I post on Reddit is usually like video game stuff and like D&D characters and whatnot. So that's
Hmm.
like the crowd I attract. I only had one furry commission, and it wasn't not safe for work. Thank God, it was like fully dressed, a pose with like a karambit knife or whatever. So
Yeah.
thank God, it's the only furry commission I had to do. But yeah, due to the fact like due to like the material that I promote with on Reddit and ArtStation, I usually get commissions that I'm eager to do.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, because
I attract the right audience. Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
questions was actually if you were 100% clean artist or have you had to dabble in the NSFW?
Yeah, NSFW, I do that stuff just to practice anatomy and like just to drawing nude bodies, drawing muscles and whatnot, which God knows I still suck at. So a lot of practice needed there. But commission wise and like hobby wise, I don't usually. It's boring, Not safe for work stuff. There's like okay, they're either having sex or they're like it's some like fetish art.
Yeah.
It's there's only so much you can do with that,
Yeah,
whereas
been
like
there,
if you're
done that.
if you're
This
drawing
character's going to do this. Good stuff.
if you're drawing like aliens or whatnot, you have a lot more creative freedom to do stuff like narrative wise, to do stuff visually, but like not safe for work is like really niche, and it's like there to pay the to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll do it, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You got anything else? Because I'll transition to the game for a minute.
I did, but I'm only going to ask this. This might start a whole other thing, but I'm going to ask this because he brought it up earlier.
Okay.
Because you said you got your start kind of not copy and pasting, but blending Pokemon together.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a two-parter, so bear with me. When you pick what's your Pokemon starter, do you usually pick the fire, grass, or water?
Fire, unless it's Infernape, then I pick Piplup.
It's always I'm a water starter for life. I always pick water.
My first Pokemon game I actually played was Fire Red, and of course it's Charizard. So of course it's the coolest one. And ever since then, like fire starters are the way to go.
Yeah, Charizard's still the coolest one though.
He's one of
yeah.
them. Yeah.
You start with a dragon. Where do you go from there? I mean,
he's not a dragon technically.
Not a dragon, I guess. But
and it's mega. It is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So the second part to that would be, I'm only again just small Pokemon tangent. If you had to be a Pokemon gym leader, what type would you pick?
Oh, I'd probably be one of those like thematic ones instead of type ones where I'm like, oh, it's like a horror themed like gym. So you have ghost types, bug types, I don't know, something like that, where it's like multiple types but like under a theme, like one of those.
Oh, okay, yeah. Very cool.
That's still cool.
Yeah.
Like that. So I just wanted to because you brought it up earlier. I had to.
Is that some of his first art you saw was Pokemon?
No, he mentioned that earlier.
I know that. I know he mentioned it, but
I haven't seen any of his Pokemon.
I have an entire page that's just Fakemon, an entire like Instagram page that's got like I think 7 times more followers than my like official Instagram account. That's just Fakemon and like stats and whatnot.
Okay.
And like
what's that one called so I can follow it too?
I
just follow Devious.
Pixel region. It's Devious.Pixel region. I forget if it's like an underscore between Devious.Pixel and region, but usually when you Google Devious.Pixel, you're gonna get that page most of the time between the first results, and you're never gonna find like the regular Devious.Pixel.
Well, we link straight to your regular Instagram page on our podcast.
Yeah,
there you go. I'm following it now.
There you go.
Amazing.
Commissions open, fake Pokemon designs. So yep, you got an extra follower on the one that you don't want followers on.
Awesome.
All followers are good. All right. Guess we'll because we do.
We are a video game podcast.
We are mostly a video game podcast, and people will see when they first see the episode, they're going to see the art you commissioned for this episode. First of all, like, is this the first time you've ever had an art commission that involved kind of commissioning yourself?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was really like like my hands were not tied. It's like do whatever you want, so it was like kind of relaxing, I guess, but kind of weird still because like I'm drawing a thumbnail for a thing for someone else, but for a thing I'm gonna be in. It's like
very
weird.
strange.
I mean, I gave you a bit of a window. It's like make it No Man's Sky themed.
Yeah, well,
so
that's the game.
But No Man's Sky is also an infinite possibility of worlds. So
people will see the thumbnail and they're going to be like, "What's the art from? What's the art about?" Well, we'll spend a little bit of time because we gave you. I think Blake, did you ask him like list a couple of games he's played recently? How that conversation goes?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was like, what give me like a top couple of favorite games that he mentioned, Minecraft and No Man's Sky, and I was like, ooh, we love No Man's Sky. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm a big No Man's Sky. So we could talk about No Man's Sky could be a whole multi-hour podcast, but we'll condense it down to maybe your favorite parts and favorite moments. It's been a little while since I've played it. because I haven't played a lot of the recent updates because I had clocked in around 200 hours, and I was like,
Oh.
I need to back off. I had millions of dollars. I was running out of stuff to do, so I backed off a little bit. I don't know if you had that kind of dedication, but
Oh,
where
I
were you at with No Man's Sky?
not to get political, but I was there since the E3 announcement.
Oh
Like,
wow, yep,
I was really excited for it. I'm like, this is what I want. Like an infinite. It's like Minecraft, but it looks good. You know, it's
yeah,
like infinite possibility. There's aliens, there's dinosaurs, whatnot. And then like, I saw when it came out, it was god awful. The whole debacle that happened, the whole
hmm
like Hello Games controversy, and then like when I like saw how much they improved, how much they actually like still cared about the game and the craft, and just like immense respect for the developers. And like I bought it as well, like maybe 2 years ago. I think I bought a lot of games during the pandemic when I had nothing else to do.
yeah.
Um, and I clocked in around 60, 70 hours maybe, but then my graphics card started having problems and like
Oh no,
all the textures were just getting scrambled in No Man's Sky. And there was
oh
like at some point I could restart it and it would look good again, but like it got to a point where like nothing I do short of changing my graphics card could help. And then I stopped playing and I fell off of it. But like I played it religiously for like weeks.
yeah. I mean, 60, 70 hours. That's no joke.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
would do like the four of us.
So we tried playing back when we were playing because I want to go back to it. I've been thinking about streaming the permadeath mode, and like that way
Mhm.
I could like have more of a reason, like do a new character, like step away from my old profile because I don't know what to do with that profile. Like
Infinite money.
I have
You
so
have
much, like I'm
an
not bragging,
armada.
but I found a way to like recycle stuff into like having so much money. I have nothing that I can't get. So I was like, that character's boring now. I want to do something else. I mean, considering I haven't done it yet, but like just doing like permadeath streams, like streaming my in a permadeath, and if I die, like whatever, I'll just try again because you can play that way. And I want to try to get to the center of the galaxy and in permadeath and maybe experience like that way I could experience
The story.
the story maybe more and like all the new updates from like
Yeah.
a fresh perspective, you know.
Oh yeah, when I started playing it, I had no clue what the story was. Like
I
I
still don't.
fell off. Like yeah, I mean it was hard to figure out when it was happening, but like I don't know if it's like a spoiler warning for
You
people
can.
who are listening who haven't played yet. Yeah, it's I was amazed. I was like blown by the story because at no point before like the little cutscene when you get to the Atlas and whatnot, before the cutscene, at no point was there like, oh, this is a story segment now. Here's a cutscene. You're progressing the story. I'm just
Hmm.
talking to people and they're like mentioning the nanites. They're mentioning like this great like war that happened and whatnot. And through talking to these like characters within those like in the stations, whatever they were called, I figured out the story. I was like looking at them talking about like them pouring nanites into these like frog people's eyes, and they're like these warmongers that are now just like traitors, and they do nothing else, but they do nothing else because they're now controlled to do nothing else. The entire story was like amazing to figure out, like just to talking to characters and like
Yeah.
being there, like in a real. I was amazed, and like the whole reality as a simulation type was also like kind of weird in the end. It caught me by surprise as well because I didn't expect it to like break the fourth wall like that.
Mm.
It's just amazing. Like it's a great game, and you wouldn't expect like enthralling story in like such a game. Like oh, it's infinitely generated, like progressively generated content, but there's this story between it.
Yeah.
It really caught me by surprise. I was pleasantly surprised by the story.
That's why I'm hoping to like, I do want to like, that's why I want to dive back into it because I read about like I would be like I got to a point where I was playing so much that I was just like talking to folks and I was just like banging on the button trying to get through the talking. I was like, I don't care, I don't know what's going on. So that's why I want to like I'm hoping to go back and get a fresh perspective and like really just like treat the story as like because the game doesn't like
It
the
doesn't
game's
hold
so
your hand.
the game doesn't hold your
Yeah,
hand.
it doesn't hold
The
your hand
game
at
is so
all.
free that you could play the way that I kind of play. You can like I experienced 200 hours of a game where I never read the story, but
Yeah.
I had a huge adventure, a whole experience. I played. I said we played with friends. It's not great to play with friends because you don't really everybody kind of ends up running off and doing their own thing, but whatever.
But you can help out one
You
another.
can help
Like
each other out a
agreeing to
little
go to
bit.
other
So I
planets
had
and
that
fun.
whole experience with that game, and I'm hoping that like I can go back and get like a narrative. Like and like you're saying, it's there. Like I can go back
Yeah.
and play the game from the beginning again and get a whole narrative, a whole different perspective of what this game is really about. I think that's really it's really crazy and really like how do you say it? I don't know, it's just wild for this game because this game is the game is popular, but it's like it's not talked about a whole lot anymore these
Yeah.
days. Like it like comes across in passing, and nobody really. Every time you mention No Man's Sky, they're like, "Oh, it's that broken game from way back when." They're like,
Yeah, and
"Well, you
that's
got to go
what
back and
most people's sentiment about it is because it left like that's the last time they heard about it because
yeah,
that was
never tried again."
the yeah, the popularity of No Man's Sky was at its peak for better or worse during the controversy. So
Yeah,
that's what where
I
most
think
people like fell off of that bandwagon.
we jumped on like well, first did you play at the beginning or did you get it kind of down the
No, I
line?
actually got it. I watched a lot of videos at the beginning, like because I usually like to like if through watching videos I really want to play the game, I'm gonna buy it. But if it's like this seems kind of boring when someone else is playing, I don't feel like buying it all that much. But then like later on when I saw the updates and everything, and the people are like this whole redeeming story about Hello Games, I just had to buy it. Like it
It's like
started looking really good.
what the game looks like 5 years after it came out is what they
Yeah,
promised it was going to look like day one. Like
yeah,
it is now
Yeah,
what they promised it was going to be,
it's
but
like
not
it's like
everyone.
one of gaming's
and
greatest
even
redemption
more than they
stories.
promised actually.
Yeah, it's still going. Like it's on
Yeah.
my Xbox right now. Like it updated 2 days ago.
With
Like it
like a
was.
Yeah.
8 or 7 gig update
Yeah, they did a whole new.
texture pack or
Well, it was just a whole. They're always changing graphics and changing stuff and adding things. That's why I want to jump back into it. I forgot what I was saying before that. Oh, we jumped in. We jumped in it when it hit Xbox Game Pass. You sound like you're a PC player probably, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
play
PC.
mostly on Xbox. So we had the Xbox Game Pass
Yeah, vaguely, but I
vaguely.
don't really care much for
You don't
like
follow it, yeah, probably because you're on
yeah.
PC. So like No Man's Sky hit Xbox Game Pass, which means we're subscribed, so we're able to play it for free. At that
Mhm.
point, we're like, because I didn't want to spend like I was kind of in that same boat, like, oh, I didn't want to spend money on a game that's done like a game that's broken and ain't right. So I never bought it. But when it hit Game Pass, I was like, well, there's no reason not to at least look at it. And I jumped in hard like that first night and the first experience I try to explain to folks who haven't played it, that first experience of like getting on a ship and like lifting off and like flying into space, you can't get that
with no loading screen.
with no
Yeah,
loading screen. Like
yeah.
people still don't realize, people like write this game off or just write this game off all the time, but like you can't, that first feeling of lifting off and flying into space, it's like there's no words for it. Like you just can't
I
get
know.
that like in any other game. They're even talking like if you follow Starfield, the
Never heard of that one
the
actually.
it's the new game from Bethesda, like the guys who make Skyrim.
Yeah, I know Bethesda, but I don't think I've seen like few clips on YouTube about like that I thought was No Man's Sky, and then like I go in and they're like it's similar, but it's not No Man's Sky. I think that's
It
Starfield or
might be
something.
Starfield, but they were talking
Yeah.
like even in like so Hello Games is a small company. Bethesda is a giant company. Okay. So when it
Mhm.
goes to like they talked about Starfield, like somebody asked in Starfield, can you fly off this planet and then fly onto another planet? And they're like, oh no, you can't do that. There's no way. We're like, what do you mean there's no way? Like No Man's Sky has been doing it for 6 years. It's weird to see like
Still, it's
a modern
Bethesda. They aren't best known for their like immaculate, immaculately working games.
Yeah, that's true. I had a we had a friend who was playing No Man's Sky with us that said because you talked about coding a little bit earlier, coding your own game. He says that the guy who like the main coder for Hello Games or No Man's Sky, I think Sean Murray is like kind of like a savant, like a savant of
Mhm.
coding. That's why No Man's Sky works so well in the way that it does, the way that it works because there's the core of the coding is so seemingly perfect that
Genius.
genius that
Yeah,
that game can
yeah.
run the way it does and allows you to fly off a planet and jump across the universe and land somewhere else and have next to no loading screens. It's just I don't know. I feel like this. I mean, the game's popular in its own way, and Game Pass has helped. I just people need to be talking about the technology and
Well, you got to think
the way this game plays and everything about it.
A game this big, literally, this game is infinite.
Yeah.
And the space that it takes up on your hard drive is like 12 gigabytes.
Exactly.
That's it. It's crazy. I don't know. I can rave about that.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I don't know how compression or any of that stuff works, but it's an infinite universe. It only takes up 12 gigs of space on your hard drive.
I don't know how we did it.
It's insane. It's insane. And it's sad that more people don't know about it. That there's
Yeah.
so many people who are like, oh, that's that broken game. It's so sad.
Did you play enough to get you a capital ship?
I don't think I did. The like the furthest I've been, I got a freighter, and like I didn't even populate it all that much. And that's when like those issues started happening. So I'm like, I still have it, like it's bought on Steam, and like when I fix my PC and when I like upgrade it, I'm so glad to get back to it. Like, so happy.
We'll have to talk again sometime when you get back in. I'd like to see what you think of how it is now, because collecting those ships. Because I have a whole fleet of ships and everything like that. And when you're on a planet and you call you can like look up into the sky, and when you call your freighter, your capital ship, when you call it and it jumps into your system and it's just like in the sky. It's just like it's just how does this game exist? Like I just don't understand that. I don't know. The game just trips me up.
No Man's Sky is good art. The message it wanted to convey was like that amazement of being in an infinite world, and it perfectly succeeded at that.
Yeah. And it has its own, and it does have its own visual, like the way it looks when you look at something, you can tell like, oh, this art's from No Man's Sky. The way this looks, the way these aliens look, even though somehow they managed that, like the aliens are like everything else. The aliens are randomly generated, but they have a style. The style, procedurally generated. The style comes across the whole universe. Like you can tell, like you're looking at No Man's Sky.
I mean, for the last 3 years, I think, even before I bought No Man's Sky, my Chrome background was like the No Man's Sky Chrome like background on my.
Oh, that like I guess like an Event Horizon on with that weird Corona.
Yeah.
Thing or silhouette of the moon.
That's that background is what I use as reference for the thumbnail art for this episode.
I recognize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, how do you go on about this game? Do you have any particular because everybody's experiences can be infinite, like we say. Do you have any particular favorite moments that you've experienced in No Man's Sky? Can you recall? And it's been a few years probably since you played.
I mean, aside from the story bit where like the currency that you use is actually like a big part of the story, like the nanites, and I was like blown away like how they incorporated all of that, and like you diegetically just learn the story through talking with people. Aside from that, the every world was amazing, and like the aliens and the little pets you can have, but the trippiest I've been is like after the Atlas like thing, after you like enter it and like it moves you to like this, like one of those, like I don't know, they're like called perfect worlds or something like that. I forget what they're called.
Paradise
planets. Paradise planets. And like I land and there's like bubbles all around me and like green grass and bubbles, and it's like unlike anything you've seen up until this point, even though the world's infinite. I was just like, it's like hallucinogenic, I guess. It's psychedelic where you're just like go through that story, learn like the fourth wall break, like you as a player are a character in No Man. The world of the game is like, oh, you're from a different universe. You're playing us as the simulation, and like you go through all of this, like all this trip, and like you're landing in this otherworldly planet. And saying something is otherworldly in No Man's Sky, like that says a lot. It's something that's otherworldly.
Yeah, we've been to all kinds of there's all kinds of things. We've been to like there's just so many planet types. We went to like going like the juxtaposition of going to like, because we had found not quite a paradise planet, but like a planet that like didn't like kill you immediately from the beginning of the game. And going from there to finding like desolate planets. It's like the visual style of how things can change even within the same solar system. You can fly off a really pretty planet and then fly like at one planet over and let it, again, this is all in real time. The game doesn't load this. You fly out to the atmosphere and you fly over, and the next planet's like this planet's got acid rain. Like you can't step outside your ship no more.
I actually wanted to mention acid rain as well, because like one of those like cool moments was I landed on this planet. It was acid rain, but like it wasn't raining as I got there. Like there was like a weather forecast, it's gonna start raining. So I went to explore, I got some stuff, started raining, went back to my ship, sat out the rain, like just looking at the rain falling
In
from
real
within my
time.
ship, like in real time,
Yeah.
waited for the rain to pass, went out again, continued my thing. It's just like these moments that are just
Yeah,
like,
it's like
And
it's these moments you can't these moments you can't like say like it's these experiences you have in the game like this that you don't have in any other game. And then when you're trying to explain it to somebody who hasn't seen it or felt it or done it, you sound dumb really a lot of the time. But you're just like
yeah,
you just can't like. I've done that. Like I've had like where you sat in your ship and you're like, I cannot go outside. I will die. Like, you just sit in your ship and you don't want to leave because it's your first time seeing a planet like that. But it's so
yeah,
scary. It's so scary outside. But you can watch the acid. There's
radiation storms.
radiation storms.
yeah.
And if you haven't played, I don't know when's the last time you played, but like in recent updates, they've really amped up the weather, like visually. There's like
Yeah.
tornadoes and stuff now. There's
like
these
lightning strikes that damage you if you're not
The
careful.
last
lightning.
time I played was that update that added those like giant worms. That's like the
Oh
last
yeah,
update I
Yeah.
remember
so
coming
that
out.
I think they were pretty close to the weather update. You may have
been right before or right after that.
yeah, the giant worms. I've seen people. Yeah, I haven't actually seen those worms in person. So
Either.
that'd be cool. Like yeah, it's crazy. You see the videos on Reddit and stuff. Like check out this worm, and I was like, oh shit. But like I haven't even seen that. I've been struck by lightning, and I've been picked up and thrown by a tornado. Like the tornadoes will pick you up, you're a person, and just chuck you across the planet.
Yeah.
My ship has been struck by lightning while I was flying in midair.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get out of the storm and get off planet because we're kind of done there. And I was struck by lightning a few times.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just more people need to talk about this. Like it's
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't understand why.
You got anything else about the game in particular? I know because we can rave and rave and rave.
Did you have a preferred race to play as?
Not really, because most of the time I'm like in a helmet and
First person. You play in first person?
in first person, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you had like maybe some sort of, I don't know, in your head secret allegiance to like one preferred. Like, I hope you guys win the war. I like you guys' politics more.
I was scared of the little, I forget their name, the little frog people. They're like traders that are vaguely Asian inspired. Those little guys. They I got scared, like, oh, they're just funny little guys. They just think about money, nothing else, and trading, and then like learning how this is their brains hijacked after the war. They're like my favorite. They're little from slavers, they became little slaves and traders.
That's crazy.
It's mind blowing about learning the languages.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
talking to people, and it's they have 3 or 4. Each race has its own distinct language.
Yeah.
And one of the things that made me laugh so hard was the Viking, the big warmonger people. Mm-hmm. The very first, like the first 3 words I was taught were war, battle, fight, conquest, and like tank. I was like, come on, guys, teach me some other words.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. And like what Drew said about like just mashing the buttons when talking to them, that's like the majority of what you're gonna do until you learn the language. You're just like, talk to me, like, oh, I know a new word now, like until you can actually understand any of them.
Didn't you get to a point where you had like all of
my main, I said a part of my main character is I have all the languages.
Like all of the language mastered.
Yeah. I played enough, I talked to enough people that I have all the languages. So now I could go around and talk to people.
Understand what they're talking about.
I need to like load that game back up sometime and take a look around, I guess, again. But
I was at that point where each of them was like saying you know a little bit of Spanish, like donde está la biblioteca. I like knew that much of each of those languages where like every third word was still foreign, but like I could understand from context clues what they're talking about. Actually,
that's cool.
It's mind blowing. You said you had like a capital ship sort of armada. Did you have a theme when naming them?
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, we were
Not at
dorks.
all. I
they
didn't even get that far, like into it. It wasn't even like equipped. I'm so sad I haven't experienced like the majority. I mean, I'm sad, but I'm also happy I still haven't experienced the majority
you
of it
have all
because
that
there's
to look
so
forward
much, yeah,
to.
all of that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because I'm that big of a nerd that I have my capital ship and then all your extra little armada ships, my exploratory vessels. I everything is named everything is named after a Digimon attack.
Ah,
That's how nerdy I
nice,
am. My ship's
nice.
called the DGMN River of Power.
I don't know I don't know if you know Digimon at all.
I don't know.
I've watched them. I've loved Digimon more than I love the Pokemon anime, but I know the season one few of their names, but like names of their moves and like the video games, like I know none of that.
Well, you'll know it then because the Metal Seedramon, one of the Dark Masters at the end of season one, his big special move when he shoots that massive energy blast out of his face is called River of Power.
Oh, the only thing I remember from that is he had those like cogs that like corrupted other Digimon or
Oh
something
yeah.
like
Oh
that.
yeah,
But that was
Yeah,
a bit
the gears,
clunky like
yeah.
that.
Dark.
Like,
Yeah, I'm a super nerd when it comes to Digimon.
All right. Well, I guess we're coming up on an hour and a half. I think maybe took enough of your time up.
we touched upon so many
So many things.
subjects,
Yeah,
so
we
many
were.
tangents.
Yeah.
Barely Terror was an artist podcast.
The
Yeah.
first more than half of it was about art and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think we did all right.
Yeah.
Is there anything like right now you can tell everybody where they can find you online too if you want? We
Send us all
do.
the links and stuff too, so we can put it in the show
I'll put all
notes.
the link. I got all these links. You mentioned your friends have a band. If you want to shout out their band on here, go ahead. And
Oh yeah, the band is you're gonna have a tough time finding them, but like on Spotify, it's gonna be better. It's Collor with two L's, and I believe it's two R's as well. And their
Mhm.
new album is called Palette, two L's, two T's. They're really amazing. They make amazing like modern experimental jazzy music.
Cool.
Your fans can find me on Devious.Pixel. You know, links will be in the description of this podcast. Devious.Pixel,
Mhm.
Devious.Pixel region for my art. ArtStation as well is Mladen M on ArtStation if that's like, but most of the stuff that's on my Devious.Pixel account is also on ArtStation, so it's like
Mhm.
whatever. And I also have a board game that if they go to my Instagram profile, it's like in one of the highlights they can buy my board game on online. It's like I market it as a mix between Ludo and D&D. So
Hmm.
it's like a D&D sort of adventure hack and slash simplified to the point of Ludo. It's like really I'd like to think it's really good. I did all the art for it, all the design as well. So
Oh wow,
if
That's
anyone
fantastic.
will,
how
yeah, if anyone wants to buy it, they can.
how'd you get that? Well, we should talk about that earlier. How'd you get that made?
Oh, it was the whole. I worked on it for like 2 years, from like paper and like cardboard to like designing everything in Photoshop and like going to all of these tutorials on how a board game should be designed and whatnot, and like play testing it a bunch with friends and finding game. Yeah, I think it's Game Crafter. Yeah, Game Crafter, the site you can make. They have all the parts you need. They assemble your game for you. You just upload the art, choose what you need to be. They have the like a shop system as well. The if anyone wants to buy it, it's gonna be on Game Crafter on their shop. It's just I don't know. I took a lot of work, but I
Yeah,
wanted to make games, wanted to make video games. So I guess a board game is a good place to start.
yeah, for sure.
That's
That's crazy.
phenomenal, actually.
Yeah, send us all the links to send all those links to Blake
I will. I
On
will.
Instagram, and I'll post all that stuff to the show notes for this. And hopefully, somebody we'll probably buy one. Was that ship to America?
Oh, it's GameCraft is an American company,
Okay,
actually. Yeah.
cool.
So
We might we're probably gonna buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
So you
cool.
just
Nice.
the
Thank
band,
you.
the link to the
Yeah,
board game.
we'll figure it all out.
Yeah, just send me all your links and everything we
I
talked
will.
about.
I will.
All right. Well, we want to really thank you. This has been awesome. This is we've been looking forward to this. This is really cool. We weren't sure,
Likewise.
like we don't do a whole lot of guests because we're just not really a guest podcast. We like reached out. We've been to a couple other people and we're like, I asked Blake, I was like, you think Devious would do this? He's like, I don't know. We can just ask. And you said yes right away. It was very cool.
Just narrowing down that time
Really.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to thank you for spending an hour and a half with us and working out all this stuff with us, and it was we think it was really great. So we want to thank you for doing this for us.
Having me, it was better than I even expected. So yeah.
Oh wow, we don't hear that too often on this podcast.
That's surely a lie. It's been great.
All right. Well, I'll stop the record and we can chat for a minute.